Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah. Once more here with Ophelia, where we might have another quest from her. While we're attending to business in Fanaland, some new information arrived courtesy of our friends the Sylphs. An individual fitting Lahabrea's description has been sighted in the North Shroud. This sighting comes in the wake of a series of mysterious deaths in the self-same area. My instinct tells me that our man is involved. I would have you continue your investigation where you left off. If willing, we will pick up Lahabrea's trail once more. Naraxia can furnish you with the details. Pray speak with her and take it from there. As always, be careful out there, Wild. But before I do that, I want to do my feisty little chocobo. Which is here at Camp Tranquil, where I don't have the Everite yet. Okay, I'm there. Now, the set. The unmistakable smell of chocobo clings to your adventure. Would I be correct in assuming that you have your own trusty steed? Aye, I thought so. Now tell me, is your bird battle-trained? If not, you might consider seeking the advice of Lukalot over at Bentbranch Meadows. The Ishgardian native is something of a prodigy in all manners of concerning our fine-feathered friends. He should be able to help you attain greater affinity with your bird. You're still the housing person? Greetings, adventurer. Is there something you need? You wish to have your chocobo trained in combat? That's no small request you make. Riding a bird is one thing. Asking it to take cards in your name is quite another. I will help you train your chocobo, but on the promise that you will never unduly expose it to danger. Do I have your word? Of course you do. Very well. To begin, you will need a bunch of geyser greens. You have my leave to pick one from the fields yonder. Return here when you have it. Have you acquired the greens? Superb. And we shall get straight to it. Doubtless you already know this, but chocobos are highly fond of geyser greens. They love the leafy vegetables so much, in fact, that they will completely forget their fears in the face of danger. Thus, by feeding your bird the greens, you can prevail upon it to fight beside you. And then, once called, it will be up to you to direct its actions as you see fit. You will find that your chocobo innately responds to a number of general commands. Give your bird an order and it will act accordingly, and to the best of its abilities. This simply yet effective methodology was developed by the Fortorms family, one of the foremost houses in Ishgard. And that concludes your lesson. Of course, it's not enough to merely hear about a practice. One must venture forth and attempt it oneself. Summon your chocobo with a bunch of geyser greens, and together make your way to Soul Haven. The boots is that prowl that area ought to be a suitable challenge for you and your companion. Put down 3 of them and return here. And lastly, by way of advice, I would recommend you keep an ample supply of geyser greens on your person at all times. Our resident vendor will be able to provide you with as much as you can carry. Companion is now available. I have 1 geyser green, which is not a lot. They said, this vendor can stock you up. Probably a few others that I'm forgetting right now, but this definitely has Geishel Greens. Give me 50 to start with. I'm not that rich. Now, and you have now on the chocobo orders, you have withdraw, so you can get it, give it away. Person you want to make a photo or something. Follow. It's just chocobo do nothing but run after me, and free stance do whatever. Otherwise, we have an attacker, healer, and defender stance, which opinion. When you look at the skills, when you give them attacker, healer, or the attacker, healer, or defender, they will only use skills from that category. And free attack does everything, though it seems to be focusing as attacker. So you have successfully negotiated your first battle with your chocobo. Well done. Tell me, how did it feel? Was it not supremely reassuring fighting with your feathered companion? Your chocobo can make up for your shortcomings or build upon your strengths. Indeed, there are countless ways the two of you might complement one another. Through some experimentation, you will come to find the approach that serves you best. Before I forget, I have one last parting gift. A saddlebag for your chocobo. Carrying Geishel Greens can be quite cumbersome after all, and there should be sufficient room for your personal belongings should the need arise. I pray it serves you well on your travels. And we now have the saddlebag, and one quest he has remaining here is when you have housing to train your chocobo there and change the color of its plumage. And we wanted to go to Full Gold Float, but we have never been in the North Shroud. Here in Gridania, where is, by the way, Tiomui would grant you passage through the White Wolf Gate. Well, is it not? I've been following your exploits with great interest. You've served Limsa Lominsa well. But I believe your greatest accomplishments are yet to come. It was with such lofty expectations that I would grant you passage beyond Gridania's own White Wolf Gate. Take this pass and show it to Franz Montieu, the gatekeeper. Gird yourself well for the battles to come, and I'm sure the news of your deeds will reach me again before long. This is this gate down here. This is normally locked for new players because it leads straight into level 30 area, and when you have a noob running around, oh, there's a gate out of the city. Bam! That's why you need a certain level to get through this gate. Only those who possess a gate pass may travel through a White Dwarf gate. It is for your own good. The fearsome beasts that lurk beyond would tear an unprepared adventurer limb from limb. You have papers? Let us see now. Yes, everything appears to be in order. Go in safety. In future, should you wish to pass, you need only say the word. Okay, and that is one way to the North Shroud. From the western exit, from the Central Shroud. So, and find the VI. Now, short overview of the map. We have the eastern part here, Treespeak and Peace Garden, which is a low-level area. Nothing here is above level 10. And you have Proud Creek up here, which is a high-level area, so everything there is in the 40s, yeah, in the level 40 pluses. And then you have the area Alder Springs with everything around the town here, Falgold Float, which is mid-20s. So 20, 25, 28, I believe it goes up to. Yeah, and aside from the city Falgold Float, there's a village up here, Hurst Mill, which later holds Gerald, the guy who forges your relic weapon. Meaning that what used to be the end game equipment you were supposed to craft. And of course I forgot something important. Namely, talk to Norexia after Venphilia already told us everything. Oh well. A Realmborn has a lot of these kind of nonsense. Less so now, but it's still there. That you basically get everything told from the character already, and then let someone else tell you it again. Noraxia, tell us the same thing Venphilia told us not that long ago. Walking One is to investigate Sinister One, and heed well this one's words. This one is friends with the Walking One in the Ashcorn Consortium. According to Friendly One, a Digging One named Medrod had an encounter with a scary Masked One. This Masked One is most certainly Sinister One. Walking One should go and speak with Digging One Medrod. Digging One is to be found at Falgold Float in the North Shroud. Okay. Crap. Let's hope I don't need to. But please leave me. I'm not long for this world. I look death in the face. It's only a matter of time before he comes for me. Just like he came for that poor woman. Soothe. You're right. Not as bad as it seems. I saw something terrible, that's true, but it hardly means I'm going to suffer the same fate. Thanks to you, I can think straight again. I believe I can even recount what I saw without losing it. It was just another ordinary day. I was headed back to the float when I noticed a suspicious character in the distance. A masked man, garbed head to toe in black. He had a hideous fiend in tow, a winged creature that was all eyeball and jagged teeth. Taken by curiosity, I crept as near as I dared. To see the corpse of a woman. One glimpse was enough to tell me that she died a gruesome death. In that instant I knew right away that the masked man was a minion of Foul, come to claim her soul for his realm. What, you're investigating this masked man? If that's the case, we'll help you in whatever way we can. Aye, anything to ensure we won't have to suffer Medrod's hysteria ever again. Alright, teamwork. That's what I wanted to... wait, I haven't been that bad, have I? At any rate, I'm all for helping this adventure. It's the least I can do to repay him for comforting me. I was a moment worried because originally he wanted a particular food item, which was the one I just used. And it would have been annoying if I had to go somewhere else to get the item just because I used it up. So here's what I know about the deaths. All victims were found with their faces torn to shreds. Among the local fauna, only the scalekin known as this could inflict such wounds. That's why some folks point their fingers at them. I somehow doubt that the answer is that simple. For the sake of thoroughness, we should look into it. Why don't you put it down, say, 3 other creatures and see if you can find any proof connecting them to the deaths? So is this coming up? Is this up here? I see 2. You've already seen to this. Good work, adventurer. So were you able to find or to suggest that the creatures are our culprits? Nope. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Truth be told, even if there were proof, I wouldn't know what it looked like. Anyway, I believe we can safely strike this from our list of suspects, which leaves us with, the masked man and his winged eyeball. There's something else I heard about the deaths. It appears all the victims have been comely maiden. I'd better rush out myself, huh? Unseemly japes aside, there's a rumor been going around. There's some that whisper that after each victim died, her rancor went into the great big rock southwest of here, causing it to flash and moan. Wispy's investigating, I reckon. I'm going to give you a fire sense stick to blow off a piece of that crack. That stick doesn't come with a fuse or anything, so you have to throw the thing. Once you've torn the rock a new one, bring back some of the fragments and I'll give them a gander. And there's another quest, apparently. From Evo Roll. There's something you should know. I've been keeping this to myself lest I worsen Madrod's paranoia, but I too have seen the winged eyeball. I cannot say whether it was coincidence, but my sighting took place precisely the same time as Madrod's. I was heading home after a day of digging when a shadow fell over me. Looking up, I found myself locked in a gaze with a giant eyeball. I let out a scream at the top of my lungs and ran without once looking back. We stepped in the rocky area west of here, in case you had a mind to investigate. Is it up or is it down? It's down, okay. Luckily by now they have markers when a quest marker is supposed to be below or above you. They have markers on the map. And the chocobo, you're on the way. The destination. Bane might, and of course I pulled this. It was staring in my face. the rock is down there. Click. Click. You can also do it over items in the quest item you can use. You can right click and then use, but sometimes this is a lot quicker when. Especially since this thing also demands targeting. Most folk are too sad to go within 100 yards of a rock of rancor. Aye, it has a name, but what's a few vengeful spirits to a dauntless adventurer like you, huh? Here's some lightning aspected crystals. Huh, or these are just your garden variety crystals. It's a bit hard to tell beneath all the dirt and grime, but they're definitely lightning aspected. Almost hate to say it, but that explains the flashing and moaning. Nothing to do with a masked stranger. Looks like I've gone and wasted both your time and a perfectly good fire sunstick. Oh well. A monstrous bane might appear, and you slew it? That creature had long been the scourge upon the folk of Falgold. Intention or no, you've done us a great service. You have my gratitude. But this does make me wonder, was it truly a winged eyeball I saw? Or merely a trick of light combined with blind panic? There's been no promising leads in the murders. I can scarce get a wink of sleep knowing that the killer is still at large. Judging from your furrowed brows, I take it this sorry business troubles you as much as does me? I've been pondering my encounter. I was uncertain for a time, but there can be no doubt it was the winged eyeball that I witnessed. It's implausible that I could have mistaken so distinct a creature for a bane might. But you and I were moms apart. How could we have both seen it at precisely the same time? What's more, our adventurer friend here had a run-in with a bane might at the very spot you claimed to see that fiendish eyeball. Isn't that right? There must be an explanation. I know I saw an eyeball with rings. I would wager an apple tart on it. Oh, he's serious. But listen, maybe it's not as mysterious as they're making it out to be. There's no reason why there couldn't be... God, of course! There must be more than one of the buggers! So obvious! But then that means... Since there have been repeated sightings of these fiends, there must be even more victims as yet undiscovered. I do believe we're out of our depth. We ought to leave the rest to the expert. Yes, we're just civilians after all. Good luck, adventurer. It was a pleasure knowing you. While I burn to know the truth, some things are best left unknown. Lest you've forgotten, it was the rocky area to the west I had my encounter. Should you discover aught of note, you will want to alert the authorities. There's a guardhouse nearby. The serpents there should be pleased for any information that pertains to the security of the region. Beast guide gauge expanded, but I don't as of yet have the skills to actually use this thing. And some of my attacks like Maim and Storm Path increase this number here up to a maximum of 100. And once I do my level 35 class quest, I get an ability that uses 50 points here. A mangled corpse. The mask in her face. Good day, sir. I found a corpse. Greetings, adventurer. Is there aught I might assist you with? Gods be good. Not again. No matter how many bodies I see, I cannot seem to get used to the horrid sight. Poor woman. Identical deaths have been reported in the Central Shroud, but the masked stranger you seek does not seem to feature in any sightings of a winged eyeball are common enough. The creature appears to be moving the bodies, but to what end, none can say. The victims have all been young women, all are found with their faces mutilated beyond recognition. It's been difficult to identify them so as to notify the next of... This button, engraved with a lily motif. The very same object was found upon another victim. A family sigil or that of an organization, perhaps. Either way, I dare to hope that this find will prove pivotal in solving the murders. Okay. Mount speed increased. I would have you hold on to the lily button. You will need it to continue your investigation. While it isn't standard procedure to entrust key evidence to individuals, you have proven yourself reliable and resourceful in this matter. I see no reason why you shouldn't carry on your work. If I might make a suggestion, you may wish to take the button to Gridania and have it examined by Mion. Perhaps someone in a vast network of contacts can shed light upon its sigil. And to Mother Mion. Good day to you, Wit. By your grim expression, I suspect you aren't here for the scones and hop tea. Well, isn't this a lovely little button? The engraving is quite exquisite, artisan level quality, I would say. Where did you find this? Where did you say you found this? On a dead body. Lovely. Anyway, I'm afraid I do not recognize the lily sigil. You will have to find the answer the old-fashioned way by asking around. You could do worse than beginning with Bernadette, over by the Ephraim Plaza. She has a sharp pair of eyes, that one. Need help tracking down the owner of a button? That's certainly not a request I receive on a regular basis. Well, go on then. Show me what you have. Seems to be some manner of decorative button, reminiscent of those worn by the families of old, though I cannot claim to know its sigil. However, I can say with certainty that the white lily is a recurring theme in Gridanian culture. Alas, I do not know who would make a personal sigil of it. If there's a soul in Gridania who does, it would be Saint-Gelais over at the Lancers Guild. The woman makes a point knowing all the citizens on a forename basis. Alright. Lancers Guild. Bernadette believes that I can help you. Well, that is a rather bold assumption to make. I will try to assist, never you fear, but whether aught comes of it is another matter. Now then, what do you require of me? Fascinating. Work of his quality is rarely seen in the hands of ordinary Gudanians. The owner of his button is most certainly well-to-do. You may wish to take your search to the gentry warden of Istafir. Wait, a memory comes to me. Of late there's been a man who is perpetually seated at the bench by the ward's entrance. His name is Osandal, and I distinctly recall seeing a markedly similar button upon the breast of his jacket. I dare say he can tell you a thing or two about it. But I think we talk to Osandal next time and see where that path of investigation leads us. Until then, I am Mace, and don't get lost.